What's up, guys? Welcome to The Beard, episode 5. The episode's going to focus on the music of Christian Alvestam, one of my favorite metal band vocalists. He was in bands Miseration, Solution 45, and Symmetry, but he's probably best known for his work on Symmetry before he left the band in 2009. So this episode is going to focus on his music, a lot of my favorite songs from him. He's got an incredible vocal range, and I think his additions to the metal world are pretty incredible. We're also going to get back into the reviews this week, talking about Stephen King's It, the made-for-TV movie from 1990, as well as new releases Dunkirk and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. This is Morphogenesis by Symmetry. That was Morphogenesis by Symmetry off of their 2008 album Holographic Universe. As I said in the intro, I'm going to be talking about movies I've seen recently: Dunkirk, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and the 1990 made-for-TV movie version of It. So Dunkirk was pretty good. I went into the movie really excited because it's a Christopher Nolan movie. He's done Inception, Interstellar, and the Batman trilogy with Christian Bale, if you didn't know. It's a war movie, and I'm not incredibly into war movies, but I've seen a lot of them, as many of us have. Tom Hardy being in it gave it promise for me, and it turned out to be nothing I expected. All of the reviews I read claimed wall-to-wall action in the movie, and there was a good deal of it, but it also seemed to simmer a lot for me. Basically, it ends up being a bunch of people getting onto boats, then immediately having to get off of them because of explosions or fire from enemy aircraft. When the movie was over, I was sort of in a confused shock. I don't think I've seen a war movie like that before. It's not character-driven like Platoon was or Full Metal Jacket. No single actor is given much dialogue or backstory. It's not historically familiar like Saving Private Ryan might be for some of us, as it took place prior to America's involvement in World War II, which leaves it as an event-driven film. It's as if you were watching the rescue of the British by civilian boats and you were right there with them. You get most of the amount of time on screen with Tom Hardy's character, but he's in the cockpit of a plane the entire time, so he doesn't talk much, and you don't get to know him as you might have if a different director was at the helm with this movie. But all in all, incredibly original after I was done processing it. But as I said, I was initially put off by it because it was an atypical approach to a war film. In the end, I'd recommend it just like any other Christopher Nolan film, though this one does have to grow on you a bit. I'm looking forward to a rewatch of it. Back to the music, this is On the Wings of Brimstone by Miseration. That was On Wings of Brimstone by Miseration off their 2012 album Tragedy Has Spoken. As I said earlier, I also watched the 1990 made-for-TV version of Stephen King's It this week, where Tim Curry plays Pennywise the Clown. The remake hits theaters September 8th, and I'm pretty excited about that, so I wanted to watch the original again to get a feel for it. If you don't know the book, it revolves around a group of kids who go up against this clown monster, and when the clown resurfaces later in their life when they're adults, they go back to their hometown to fight it. Tim Curry does a great job in this cult classic role of his, and so do the kid actors, Seth Green and Jonathan Brandis among them. And the movie holds up, but I found the biggest flaws in it are during the parts where the actors portray the adults. I don't know that the studio did a good enough job filling those roles as a reflection of the childhood parts. And once the movie moves past the childhood scenes, it becomes bland and filled with bad dialogue. In the end, the effects are okay, and the movie holds up to an extent, mainly because of Tim Curry's performance, but I really don't think the new movie has to achieve much to outdo its predecessor. So I look forward to the remake. The next two songs feature Christian Alvestam on guest vocals. This is Universum with Some of the Universe.
To the blood and burn through
was Some of the Universe by Universum off their album Mortuus Machina in 2011. The next song is also featuring Christian Alvestam on guest vocals. This is Disarmonia Mundi with Ringside Seat to a Human Tragedy. That was Disarmonia Mundi with Ringside Seat to a Human Tragedy off their 2011 re-release of Mind Tricks. So the last movie I'm going to talk about today is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I just watched it yesterday and I was pretty blown away by it. A lot of people when it first came out said they liked it better than the original. I don't quite know if it's that good, but it almost stands up pretty evenly for me. Chris Pratt still does another great job in the movie, and I liked Kurt Russell as the villain. He was pretty great. Overall, the soundtrack was fantastic, just as good as the first, if not better. I might say the soundtrack's actually better than the first soundtrack of the original film, but the movie is pretty even for me in terms of entertainment. I liked it a lot. I definitely recommend it to anybody looking for a good superhero type movie. So that about wraps it up for this week, guys. Thanks so much for listening. I have a track, Solution 45 is my last band that I'm going to feature today. And this is a song called Wirethrone. Solution 45 is Christian Alvestam's most recent band. And it's probably the two albums they have are probably the albums I go back to the most. As I said, this is Solution 45 with Wirethrone off of their album For Ions Past in 2010. Thanks again for listening, guys. Tune in next week.
One night I found